Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to give you an intro into New World Aeturnum and provide you with some tips as you begin. This will just be a shorter video with some small tips just for early game. If you like the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I do stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/afarley, Monday through Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern till about 2 a.m. Feel free to stop by and show some love. Let's start with what I believe to be the most important tip, and that is to not rush to endgame. Endgame is one of the weaker points for New World at the moment, and getting there faster doesn't help you truly enjoy the game. So take your time and explore Aeturnum and enjoy it for what it is. The endgame loop is filled with PvP and PvE activities that you're repeating daily, so you're not missing out much by taking your time. I'll play through the game and do side quests and expeditions on level. It'll make for a much more fun and rich experience. After you watch a new and beautiful cutscene, you'll be met with character creation. A barbershop is being added later on, but if you care about your appearance, take your time with this, create something you like, and then after you create your character, you'll get to choose your archetype. The main thing to focus on here is the increased trade skill bonus you'll get, because you're able to switch weapons whenever and to whatever you want later on. So don't worry about not starting with weapons you like, because you can change them shortly after. The reason the trade skill bonus is important is because it's used to generate a little bit of gold early on. Me personally, I'll be using jewel crafting in the beginning, but you can choose whatever you like. Moving on to trade skills, they're used for crafting for your weapons, your armor, and your tools. Like I said before, your archetype will give you a boost for a specific one in that trade skill, so choose something you want to max first. One tip for leveling the trade skills is to use the one-time crafting bonus that you get for each piece. It's boosted XP and it'll be the fastest way to reach max level in that one skill. While talking about crafting, this is a good way to get gear to progress until around level 50-ish. After that, you're going to want to use the faction vendor possibly. They have decent gear, but you're mainly going to be relying on world drops. Spending gold at the trading post, I would not recommend. It's just a waste, and you're going to need it for many other things. I quickly wanted to go over the gathering skills. If you're looking to make gold early on, gathering any and all resources possible and selling them on the trading post is a good way to make gold. One tip here would be, if you're farming hide, iron, fiber, I would refine it before selling it. You'll probably make less gold because you do have chances for it to double and stuff when you're refining it, but it'll help you get those skills leveled up quicker. So I would highly recommend refining it before you sell it. This is also a great way to gain XP just for your character from the refining. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. Next, I would like to cover attributes. Attributes are used to gain damage, certain breakpoints, and health. If you pull up the attributes, it'll tell you the proper scaling for each weapon. Some weapons scale off of multiple attributes, such as the spear or greatsword, so it is important to make sure you're speccing correctly. Don't worry too much about the speccing though. It is free to change it until much later on in the game, and even then it's only 50 gold later on. And you can change it at any time. With the ATBs, it is important to see these breakpoints. Getting to a certain breakpoint on attribute could result in better damage than just putting all the points into one attribute. This is generally used later on. You know, once you get to around 300 in whatever your main scaling attribute is, there's generally a fall off after that. So usually it's good if you're double dipping, or if you have a one that scales off of 2, you know, strength and dex. It's good to get to 301. Then usually you'll start to put points in the other one, because you get more out of that point. You know, but early on, for instance, if you're using the 25 strength points, you're just going to get increased damage to light attacks. So if you're using something like Hatchet Life Staff to level, this could be really good just for the extra damage on the hatchet itself. So yeah, it could be beneficial. You just need to take your time and read them. Next, we'll move on to 3 things that kind of occur around level 20-ish. First, we'll start off with mounts. They become available at level 20. And I recommend doing the mount quest as soon as possible. If you're following the main story, you'll get to a point where, I can't remember her name, but she's asking you to create some sort of corruption tincture. That's right around the level where you're going to be getting your mount. So stay along with the story and it'll take you right to it. It can be found at like the top area of Windsward. But Aeturnum has a lot to explore, and the mount makes it that much easier. The one tip I would say for mounts is to make sure you're feeding them your mount vitals 3 times a day for easy XP. You can craft them or buy them off the trading post. They do have increased tiers, but at least make sure you're doing the base one, you know, because once you're leveling it up, you're going to be moving around faster, and it's just much easier to get around the world. Now we're going to move on to housing. The houses become available when you reach territory standing level 1 in that zone. So once you're Windsward level 1, you can buy a house. While we're talking about the territory standing, though, I want to make sure that you know which points to take. And you're going to want to take storage or gathering speed whenever they're available. The other points really aren't that important, but you currently cannot reset these, so it's important when they're there to take the correct ones. And now back to housing. You can own up to 3 houses, and they serve as a fast travel point and a place for you to put your furniture and trophies. Trophies are used to gain buffs in crafting, luck, and PvE damage, so they are pretty important. Furniture can be placed in your homes to make it look good, but also you can place storage chests, which give you increased storage capacity in that zone. So when you're out farming and gathering chests and stuff, just make sure you're looking through your furniture drops, see if you have any chests, because they are pretty valuable early on to sell, and it's also nice to have for the extra storage capacity. For as far as the houses go, your first house, I believe, is half off. After that, they're full price, but the houses vary in cost from 5k to 20k gold when you first buy them. And if you're struggling to find the cheapest end house, I would just suggest Googling the territory map for housing on Google. That's the easiest way just to find the layout of each town. We're going to move on to the last topic now, and that is factions. Factions don't play a huge role in the game outside of open world PvP and wars anymore. On the launch of the game back in 2021, you were punished heavily if you were fast traveling from a certain territory to a different territory that wasn't your color, but they've done away with that, so you don't have to worry about it. So choose a faction based upon what your friends are wanting to join. Or if you're playing solo, you can switch factions I believe it's every 30 or 60 days. So don't stress it too much. You can always change, if your friends get the game later on, if they don't want to join your faction, you can always change to theirs. If you don't have any friends to play the game with, feel free to join my Discord. I'll be starting a company on Fresh Start crossplay servers for all PvE and PvP activities. I'll be figuring out a server to join closer to launch, voting on the faction color and company name. I'll put the link in the bio to the Discord, so feel free to join. Also on the topic of factions, it is important to level your standing with them to unlock new items from the vendor. The two most important items you're going to be buying in the endgame are chromatic seals and gypsum orbs. So yeah, it's pretty good to focus early on doing your 3 daily PvP missions. You can do them 3 times a day for boosted XP and gold. They don't take very long, and I would suggest doing them in the highest level territory possible at the time. So if you're level 40, you could go into like Brightwood and do them, or Morningdale and do them. The higher level of the territory, the more XP and gold you're going to get for it. Once you get to endgame, if you're still running them daily for PvP tracks or gold, you can do Shattered Mountain PvP missions. Those are probably the best to do them in the endgame. These are all the beginner tips I wanted to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully these can help you as you begin your journey in Aeturnum. Later on, I'll be creating an endgame guide, so be sure to subscribe so you can get that information when it comes out. Anyways, have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.